Hi, Jan. I have just logged into the back end of your website, which I believe you know how to do. If that is part of the issue, give me a holler. I decided that as long as I'm updating this for you, I'll videotape part of it, and hopefully that'll help you with updates in the future. This is what it looks like when I first log in. Uh, what I did is went to the front end of the site to your calendar. I'm going to click to that tab, and then I entered the visual builder. It says exit now because I've already entered. We also know I've entered because when you mouse over things, you get these blue and green and gray pop-ups, or boxes rather, and you get this lovely purple dot at the bottom. Always start by clicking on the purple dot because that enables you to save your work. When you click save, it is saving it live to the internet. So you don't want to do that until you're ready for whatever you're working on to push live. Doesn't mean you have to have the whole page done if you have a lot of work to do. It just means that you have to not have things that look really messy or don't make sense. Okay. Also in this view, I want to show you that you have the option to look at your, if we click on this, I'm in the bottom left corner. If we click on the little magnifying glass, it lets us look at the whole page at once, which is sometimes a nice view. It defaults to the desktop view, which looks like a computer monitor here, but you can also preview the tablet and the phone view. And you know, the only thing that's particularly relevant about this is that we want to make sure that what you're doing looks the way it's supposed to look in all three places. Most of your time is going to be spent on the desktop view. The statistics we looked at for your site showed that's where most of your visitors are in fact looking at your site. But there are enough of them on desktops and on tablets and phones that you absolutely do want to make sure that's working. Let's go back to those colored pop-ups. We have blue ones, we have green ones, we have gray ones. Just looking at this front section here, I see the blue, the green, the gray. Then we get, beneath that green one, we have another green one that's 3 columns wide, so it has 3 of the gray boxes in it. And then we have another one that has, again, 3 boxes. And in between these, we're starting each with the little divider, it looks like. What I'm going to do is switch to this view here. It's called the wireframe view. Again, I'm down in the bottom left corner. And what this lets me do is get rid of the clutter known as your content and just look at those blocks. So in that first block, the blue block, had the page title and then a row and the title. I'm going to flip to this so we can see what that looks like. And that's talking about this block here. This blue block has your page title, green row, and then the page title in a gray box. The next one we should expect is a blue box with a green box in it and 2 gray boxes inside of that. Switch back to the wireframe view. And in fact, we see the blue box, the green row with the 2 gray boxes inside, one an image, one text. Beneath that, we should see a green row with 3, and then a green row with 3. And those are each of your events. So I'm going to click over to here. And in fact, I see this green has 3, this green has 3 gray, and this green one has 3 gray. Why am I belaboring this point? Here's why. I can teach how to edit, and I will teach you how to edit these 3 that are already here. But when I flip over and look at what you need added, I see that you're going to need a whole lot more than just 3 of these events. And so I want to show you how to clone these green boxes so you're not reinventing the wheel at every turn, and then edit those. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to click out of screen here a little bit and look at the Word doc that you sent, and I see we have a lot of different events here for a total of how many? Let's see, we got a Moose Lodge. I'm looking at which ones share venue because they might share the image and we can clone that a little. Let's just fix this one for starters. We have the Northwest Authors at Chautauqua Lodge on October 5th. So going back to your website, I'm going to, because I'm editing the visual builder, I can edit right into these gray boxes. So if I want to edit into this one, I'm going to click on the gearbox. That's going to open up this nifty gearbox view. It'll let me make it any shape or size I want by grabbing on that lower right-hand corner of it. You can also, and this is one of my favorite things to do, is snap it left or right. And what that does is it lets you see both the full view of the web page and the editing box. whereas before we did that, it was covering the web page. That bugs me. I prefer this view. So I'm editing this box, which is this content, and I believe I'm just going to leave that in place. I'm editing now. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to put there. I'm editing now right in the editing box. It should look a lot like Word to you. We're in Chautauqua, so I'm going to get rid of all that. So I'm grabbing the 304 14th Street. Now here I don't want all this space, and so instead of doing a regular return, I'm going to hold the Shift key down while I hit return. That's called a soft return, and you see that it leaves less space between the lines than the regular return does. Also noting over here, I don't like how this TH is showing up, so I'm going to put it in line, or try to put it in line, instead of having it pop up. I think that looks nicer. And then I see the time is 11 to 4 p.m. So I'll get rid of that and replace it with Washington 98631. I can get rid of this. And this is actually an artifact from my trying to paste in the address. I'll get rid of that. When I click the green, I'm at the bottom of the page. When I click the green button, the checkmark button, what that does is it just saves this little block that we were editing. Get back up to it here. All it did is save this little gray block. And it just saves it here in the back end. It hasn't saved anything to the front end yet. I have to go down here to my purple dot and write to save when I'm ready to push that to the front end, which I am not right now because this would be very confusing. I need to edit into this block here, the gray block. And this is where I'm going to say Northwest Authors at Chautauqua Lodge. Meet the author Q&A. Be the first to get mine copy. Well, you won't be the first. So I'm just going to say meet the author. And grab your favorite titles. How's that? So yeah, I just have to make it up when you don't send it to me, but that's okay because I'm showing you how to edit it. So you can go behind me and change it, or of course you're welcome to send me an email or something to change it. Now I'm going to go edit this picture because this is the cafe and it needs to be the Chautauqua Lodge. So the first thing I'm going to do, I just clicked on that image to get into the media library, and I'm going to just really hope that we have something in here of Chautauqua, which I believe that is. Indeed it is. So I'm just going to use that rather than add a new picture. We'll add a new picture on another one. We'll come back to that. So now we have Chautauqua in there. And this row is complete. It's not confusing. So I'm going to go ahead and save. And that'll push just what you see right here live to the internet, which is a little bit better and not any worse than what was there. Waiting for save.